There are moments when a woman's attraction doesn't show up like a movie scene. No dramatic confession, no obvious words, just a silence so charged that if you're truly awake, you'll feel it crawling through the air between you. This isn't a game. It's not guessing. It's reading something real, something most men will never even notice. Right now, you're about to hear what nobody tells you. You're about to learn how a woman gives herself away without saying a single word. If you've ever wondered whether she's into you but couldn't find proof, if you've ever felt that quiet pull but talked yourself out of it, then this isn't just another video. This is the one that will change how you see women forever. Because attraction isn't loud, it's strategic, it's hidden in plain sight. And when you finally learn to see it, everything changes. You'll stop chasing the wrong signals. You'll stop doubting your instincts. You'll start seeing the truth behind every glance, every small movement, every silence. You'll understand her before she even dares to say anything. That's what makes a man unforgettable. That's what separates the one she forgets tomorrow from the one she can't stop thinking about. Stay with me until the end of this video, because once you learn these signs, you won't just look at women differently. They'll look at you differently. What I'm about to tell you will wake something up in you. You'll never walk into a room blind again, and once your eyes are open to these hidden signals, you can't ever unsee them. When a woman is secretly attracted to you, she doesn't walk up and announce it. She doesn't hand it to you like a perfectly wrapped gift. No, she lets it leak out through silence. She allows her presence to speak in a language only the emotionally intelligent can understand. This is where most men fail. They expect fireworks, but real attraction rarely comes with an explosion. It's quiet, it's subtle. It's in the way she looks at you without really looking at you. It's in the way her energy shifts the moment you step into the room. And if you're too distracted waiting for words, you'll miss the entire story her silence is already telling. When a woman likes a man, she doesn't always say, "I like you." Her body says it for her. Her silence carries weight. When your eyes meet, she might glance away too quickly. Not because she isn't interested, but because your gaze unsettles something inside her. It awakens a storm she's not ready to reveal. That quick glance away is not rejection, it's a reaction. Her nervous system is telling on her. This is a human instinct. When attraction rises, vulnerability follows, and most people protect that vulnerability by hiding it behind soft, silent signals. You'll notice it in the smallest shifts. She'll fix her hair even when it doesn't need fixing. She'll adjust her clothes, touch her neck, or play with something in her hands. These are not meaningless gestures. These are micro-expressions of desire, the kind her mind hasn't yet decided to express verbally. She is silently communicating that your presence matters. And when a woman is silently trying to regulate herself around you, it's because she feels something. Attraction lives in that space between control and surrender, and in the early stages, silence is her shield. But here's the deeper psychological layer. Women, especially the ones who value their self-worth, won't make attraction obvious. They guard it. They protect their emotional power. They reveal it only to men who are as aware enough to notice. That's why a man who learns to read silence has a power most men never even develop. He doesn't need her to confess. He already knows. He doesn't chase validation. He recognizes presence. He understands that the language of attraction isn't always spoken through the mouth. Sometimes it's spoken through the heartbeat. Think about the way energy moves in a room. When you're around someone you truly like, your breathing shifts, your pupils dilate, your body temperature rises. These are primal reactions hardwired long before words were ever invented. A woman in that state doesn't need to perform. Her silence does it for her. Her stillness has a voice. But you have to be the man who knows how to listen to what isn't being said. Many men get frustrated because they think attraction is supposed to be loud. They wait for flirtatious words or obvious moves. But attraction doesn't shout, it whispers. The real signal isn't in what she says, it's in how her energy changes around you. It's in how her laughter sounds softer, her tone becomes slower, how she leans in without realizing she's doing it. It's in how she looks at you when you're not looking at her. That's the real confession. Not in words, in silence. When you start paying attention to this language, everything changes. You stop chasing meaningless signs and start recognizing real ones. You stop overanalyzing texts and start reading the room. You stop questioning your worth because you finally understand that when a woman's energy shifts around you, something real is happening beneath the surface. And here's the thing most men don't realize when she is silently attracted to you. She's testing if you can feel it, if you can hold that energy without making it awkward, if you can meet her quiet with calm confidence instead of desperation. Women don't want to scream their feelings into a void. They want to be understood without begging to be seen. If you can stand in silence and still make her feel safe, you've already built a connection that words could never create. So the next time you're in a room with a woman and everything suddenly feels heavier, slower, quieter, pay attention. That silence isn't empty. It's full of meaning. It's attraction wearing its most elegant disguise. Don't wait for her to confess what she's already showing. Learn to listen to the language her soul is already speaking. The loudest confessions are often the ones never spoken. The man who understands silence doesn't just get noticed. He becomes unforgettable. Attraction doesn't just hide in silence. It moves through actions. When a woman is secretly drawn to you, the signals she gives aren't random. They are deliberate, even when they seem effortless. Every small movement, every glance, every shift in her posture is part of a quiet dance she may not even realize she's performing. But make no mistake, her subconscious is speaking. It's testing. It's revealing. The way she behaves around you isn't accidental. It's her inner world leaking out through the cracks of her controlled exterior. When a woman likes you, she won't always approach directly. Instead, she'll place herself near your orbit. She'll lean closer when she talks, angle her body in your direction, mirror your movements without realizing it. These are deeply instinctive behaviors. We mirror what we desire. It's human nature. It's the brain's way of saying, I'm in sync with you. When her energy aligns with yours, it's not just a sign of interest. It's her subconscious surrendering to the pull between you. You'll notice she finds reasons to be near you even when she doesn't have to. Maybe she's standing closer in a crowded room. Maybe her laugh lingers a little longer around you. Or maybe her hands fidget with something when you speak. She might brush against your arm when she passes by, or her voice softens slightly when she says your name. These subtle movements carry more weight than any love confession ever could. Because people can fake words, but they cannot fake instinct. And here's what most men miss: these signals are not just random habits. They are strategic openings. She's giving you access without giving you everything. A woman who is attracted to you will protect her vulnerability, but she'll leave the door slightly open, just enough for you to notice if you're paying attention. She won't shout her feelings from a rooftop. Instead, she'll test if you can feel them without her needing to explain. This is where your awareness matters, because if you're too focused on what she says, you'll miss what she's showing. Attraction is not a performance, it's a pulse. She might tease you, challenge your ideas, or act slightly distant just to see if you can handle her energy. She wants to know if your presence can hold its ground without being needy or controlling. A woman's hidden signals are like a silent code, and only the man who can read that code earns her respect and desire. One of the most powerful psychological truths is that attraction often begins as tension, not chaos, not loud confessions, but a slow magnetic pull. That's why she might play with boundaries, staying just close enough to keep your attention, but far enough to keep her power. She might brush your hand lightly, but then pretend it didn't happen. She might maintain eye contact for a second too long, but act like it was nothing. These small, deliberate contradictions are her way of saying, I feel something, but I need to know if you can meet me at this level. When she mirrors your movements, it's not coincidence. When her voice softens around you, it's not politeness. When she positions herself near you, it's not by accident. These are primal indicators of emotional and physical interest. Women express attraction in layers. They test if a man can notice the layer beneath the surface. They test if your presence is grounded enough to lead without forcing. Many men misread these signals or ignore them completely. They think if a woman doesn't say something directly, she's not interested. That's wrong. Women are often more guarded, not less interested. Their interest shows through behavior long before it shows through words. And if you learn to recognize these hidden cues, you'll never have to beg for clarity again. You'll feel it. But here's the part that requires strength. Recognizing the signal is one thing, but holding space for it is another. If you react too fast, you break the tension. If you ignore it entirely, you lose the connection. Attraction lives in the balance between presence and patience. A woman doesn't want a man who chases everything she gives. She wants a man who can hold her energy with calm authority, who notices the signal but doesn't get lost in it. The truth is, every subtle movement she makes around you is a quiet invitation, not a loud demand. She's saying, I trust you to see me without me having to explain myself. And if you can meet her there, not too eager, not too distant, you build a connection most men will never experience. So the next time you see her lean a little closer, mirror your posture, or create small moments of contact, understand what's really happening. She's giving you a map without drawing the lines. The question is whether you'll learn to read between them. The most powerful signals are never shouted. They're whispered through presence, proximity, and movement, and the man who can hear what isn't being said becomes the man she remembers. Most men never realize this, but the ones who truly win with women aren't the loudest, the richest, or the most physically perfect. They're the ones who know how to notice what others overlook. They're the ones who don't wait for a woman to spell out her desire like a sentence. They can read the pauses, the energy, the silent signals she's hoping someone will finally understand. Because here's the truth. Women rarely hand their hearts to the man who tries the hardest. They give them to the man who ever understands them without being told. When a woman is secretly attracted to you, she doesn't need to say it. She needs to feel that you can sense it. She needs to feel that your awareness is sharp enough to catch the small things. The softening in her voice, the way her body turns toward you, the spark in her eyes that wasn't there a moment ago. She's not looking for a man to chase her desperately. She's looking for a man whose energy meets hers without begging for it. This is where emotional intelligence becomes power. Most men operate on surface level. They look for big signs, loud signals, words, confirmations. But a woman's world doesn't work that way. Her attraction often lives in subtle layers, guarded behind quiet behavior. She wants to know, can you see me even when I don't shout for attention? Can you understand me without me having to explain every feeling? Can you feel the difference between polite interest and magnetic desire? A man who can't read these layers will always think she's not interested, when in reality, she's just observing. She's watching if your energy is grounded or insecure. If you panic when things aren't obvious. If you rush what was meant to build tension slowly. A woman can sense when a man is ever aware of her signals without losing his power. That awareness alone creates a gravitational pull that words can't match. When a man can hold her energy without flinching, he separates himself from the crowd. He becomes different, not because of what he says, but because of how he feels. His presence speaks louder than his mouth. He doesn't need to force a connection, he allows it to unfold. And in that patience, a woman feels something she rarely experiences: safety. She feels understood without having to strip her guard down too fast. The truth is, most men lose before they even begin because they're too busy trying to make something happen instead of learning how to feel what's already happening. Attraction doesn't always require action. Sometimes it requires awareness. Sometimes it's about letting the silence stretch just long enough for her to realize you're not just another man chasing her, you're the one man who actually sees her. This kind of man doesn't need to constantly prove himself. He doesn't talk over her signals. He listens. He reads. He understands that when she leans closer, when she unconsciously mirrors him, when her voice trembles just slightly, that's a conversation happening without words. And only the emotionally intelligent can hear it. This level of awareness also means knowing when not to move. If you respond to every glance too eagerly, you break the tension. If you ignore it entirely, you kill it. But if you hold your ground with calm confidence, something powerful happens. She feels drawn in. She feels safe enough to let more of that attraction surface. She starts giving you clearer signals, not because you forced them, but because you earned them. And that's what separates the man she flirts with from the man she falls for. One reacts to what's obvious. The other understands what's hidden. She doesn't want to teach you how to see her. She wants to know that you already can. That's where true masculine presence lives, not in control, but in awareness. When you learn to read between the lines, you begin to see how much a woman communicates without speaking. You see that her attraction isn't random, it's intentional. You see that her signals aren't weak. They're a test of whether your presence is strong enough to match her vulnerability. So the next time you find yourself wondering if she likes you, stop listening to the noise in your head and start listening to her silency. Start noticing her eyes, her body, her energy. Start understanding the language beneath the surface. The man who listens at that level isn't just remembered, he's desired. A woman doesn't need the man who talks the most. She needs the man who sees her first. And once she feels seen at that depth, she never forgets the one who did.